Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Vercel community session. I'm Maya Avendano, and I'm a DX engineer here at Vercel. You may have seen me hanging around in our community spaces, and yeah, it's a real pleasure to be able to hang out with you all here today. If this is your first time in one of our sessions and you can't see the chat, feel free to join us over on the community platform at community.vercel.com/live. And there you can use the chat and ask questions, which we highly recommend. Or if you're watching on any other platform like X, feel free to use that as well. And now for today's session, we're diving into something that's very exciting and fresh off the press. We've got two lovely guests joining us to show us the magic of video models. So I want to welcome Geraldine and Walter.
Hi,
hey guys, welcome.
Hello, folks.
Take it away.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. So we are on the AI Gateway team, and we had a launch last week, but wanted to come and talk about it some more. So right now, video generation models are live in the AI Gateway. We currently have, I think, 17 models for people to try, and both within just through AI Gateway and through the AI SDK, and also across a couple different playgrounds to play and test around with. So maybe just to call out the 4 different types of models and also the providers. So we have models from Veo, from Kling, from Alibaba, and also from XAI. And so across these different models, there are a couple different types. I can talk through them more. Actually, it might be helpful to share screen. Walter, do you also want to jump in and talk about specifically across the providers, any like big call outs or things like that?
I think like just from an orienting yourself, if you haven't played with AI video models in general, the things Geraldine said, sort of like text to video is sort of the basic prompting, image to video is image to produce, and then reference to video where you can either use an image or a video, but it varies, right? Like this is still sort of early days for models. And so, there are models, the XAI model, the Imagine video model, for example, kind of do all of those things, but it doesn't have different model IDs. It's just one model you can use different ways. And so this is sort of some version of us, saying, hey, this is how these models existed and how they fit in with Gateway. And so a part of this is sort of like, showing you some examples of how they can be used with code. And we do try to make this simple in terms of leveraging AI SDK, which many of you are probably familiar with. So hopefully these snippets are concise and educational, and you think the videos are awesome.
Yeah, and then maybe just to add on to on Walter's point of making it super easy, as you can see here, so with AI SDK and with the playground, those are like the 2 main ways we have right now to interface with the videos. The new thing that we're introducing here through AI SDK is this generate video function. And so with all of these providers, you'll use generate video in like most of the time you can just use it with the simple model string and the prompt. And then as Walter mentioned, there are a couple other different types of video models, like video models that require reference videos or require images or require like editing. And so those might be like a little bit different than the simple text version, but there are always like easier ways to play around with these. So maybe also just to highlight, we have this little demo video of all the different things that we were creating as we were playing around with these different models. Most of them are like pretty simple prompts, actually, and just required either like a text prompt or text and some image. And so it's really amazing like how with the power of AI SDK and AI Gateway, you can like create very like photorealistic videos, and also just like videos of like anything that you want. So yeah, I was really excited to play around with these, and hopefully people are too. Maybe to start, what would be good is if we just show how to generate a video. So I will switch tabs, and we can start with the playground. Okay, so we're on the AI Gateway site right now, and I've filtered to only video models right here. And so you can see here, these are all the video models that we currently support. A lot of them are actually currently free for a limited time. So the Alibaba and XAI model, Grok, Imagine Video. Those are free right now for people to try, and we really encourage people to just try out different prompts and test them out to see what you think. I'll start with the Grok one actually because this one is quite fast. So as you can see here, this model is a little bit different than the other one. So it offers the ability for a text prompt, offers the ability for a reference image or a reference video. I'm just going to go with the text prompt because that's the easiest. But does anyone have any ideas for like a cool video to generate? Usually we go with animals.
West Highland White Terrier crossing the Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay. West Highland Terrier crossing. Okay, and then I'm going to hit generate. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong team. Give me 1 second. West Highland Terrier crossing. Okay, hopefully that works now. And video generation can take a little bit of time. This model tends to be a little bit faster, but compared to the other AI gateway models that are around text and image, this will take a bit longer. So a word of advice is to just be a little patient. Oh, here we go.
Actually pretty fast. Yeah, this model is quite fast. I think, VO model is quite fast. Stating the obvious maybe, the duration is to some degree a function of the input. So some of the models, for example, take video as input. If you give them a longer video, they will take longer to generate. It's sort of like just a more resource intensive task. It could be interesting to show an image to video. And if you don't have one, a ready image, we could do that. But this is particularly powerful in terms of, Gateway also offers a bunch of image models. And so, you can do text to video and leave it open-ended, but it can be quite powerful to have a reference, the same way an artist would sort of paint from a reference. You can say, hey, I want the dog across the video, but I want it to look like this dog. And then you can actually give it an image you got from whatever other model you want, whether it's Black Forest Labs, Nano Banana, GPT Image 1. These are all image models that we offer in Gateway. So
okay, I have an image of a peacock. So I'm going to say, use this. I'm going to say maybe the peacock flying or something. Do peacocks fly?
I mean, if you've played Zelda, you know how the chicken kind of flaps and will give you a little bit of air. I think that's probably the max. I'm not even sure you would get there, okay. But the exciting of the model is they can do things that aren't technically possible, perhaps. So let's try it.
Okay, let's see what this one does.
While it's generating questions, some of these models have the option of generating audio along with them. When they do, they typically have an option to disable the audio. The pricing is typically a little bit higher with audio enabled. And I think they, in some cases, will preserve original audio as well. So it's kind of a range that varies by model. And if you're curious for details, there's more information in the documentation. And then the Gateway Vercel docs also link out to the AI SDK documentation, which includes links in the end to the provider themselves. There is a lot of depth. It's kind of like if you imagine the ultimate detail, it's still generating, so I keep talking. When you see the crazy videos of people in the music studio with a control center in front of them with 5,000 knobs, and you're like, wow, that's wild. I wonder whoever needs those knobs. Those knobs exist to some degree for these models. It doesn't mean you want to have to think about their own. But if you get to the point where you want that level of control, it is there because we do have the low-level AI SDK that has all those knobs. And this playground is sort of surfacing the starter ones, right? Look, I just want to do image to video with an image, and maybe I want to do an image and a video. But in many cases, for example, the Kling model, you can pass it 3 videos. You can do, Geraldine will show you later, I think, sort of first last image, where you sort of say, hey, here's how I want my video to start, here's how I want it to end. Please, video model, fill in the gap, fill in the middle part, right? So these are all different powerful ways to do things.
Yeah, and some of these models too have really cool features. One that I noticed that I really liked was Kling came out with their 3.0 model fairly recently. And with that, they had a multi-shot control. So you could upload, oh, this just finished. Hey, that's pretty good.
It's better than the chickens in Zelda. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the nice thing too is that you can download these from the Gateway Playground, so you can save them for future use. But I was saying that, oh yeah, so some of the models have kind of unique features. For example, I think Grok Imagine is the only one we have right now that offers image editing. We have some others that we're planning on adding that will also do this. And then Kling has a new cool feature called multi-shot. And so you can kind of either specify yourself like how you want 3 different shots or like frames to look, and it'll just generate that in one generation. So you can almost create like a little short movie with that. Or like they have a smarter mode where it'll literally just like do that all yourself, and you don't even need to specify what each of those shots would be in the prompt. So there are examples in the changelogs and blogs too if you want to take a closer look at this. But yeah, there are a lot of cool features to highlight across these different providers, and it's all in the AI SDK. It's just a matter of figuring out which ones you want to use.
Maybe can we find one that does audio if you happen to remember? Since someone asked, it might be good to show one. I think you can do a text to video.
Yes, I think the last one did audio or generated audio.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think VO might be a good one because it does dialogue.
Yeah.
Let me try that.
Sounds good. Yeah. While you're doing that, someone also asked, how much is it after the free period? My comment is, in general, we aim to market price the providers. We have a couple of providers that are on special right now. Geraldine,
yeah, they're all here. So if you want to know the cost, a good way is to just go to the AI Gateway site and filter on video, and then there's like more specifics when you hover over the price, but you can see it differs on, usually it's just price per second, but depending on the quality, depending on if you want audio or not, that will change the price per second. So for example, for VO here, you can see the price is different based on the resolution and based on with audio. Kling is, I would say, like the most complicated one. So they have standard and pro. That's just based on resolution. And then they're just like a couple different features. So we try to make it as easy as possible and just show like the base price based on the second, but it can definitely vary. So if you're interested and you want to see more on the cost, I would just check here. The other nice thing too is in your observability or within the Gateway Overview tab, you can see how much each generation costs, and those will come in like with the same place where you see your regular gateway metrics.
And the pricing detail is on the model detail page as well. You might want to show them where that is.
Yeah. So if I click into, let me do VO text to video, this one, I think. If I click in here and you scroll down, you can see the provider, and it also still will show the price as well. So you can either see it on the overview and the list view, or you can also see it like when you click into the specific model right underneath the playground, how much this costs. And then this is available not only in like vercel.com/AI Gateway, but also within your dashboard when you click into the model list. So there's a couple different places, but we try to make the pricing as easy as possible and surface like how much it's costing you.
Do you want to mention which maybe you already did, but which providers are free right now?
Oh yeah, so I think the main ones that are free right now are XAI. It's actually both video and image generation. So Grok Imagine Video and Grok Imagine Image, and then also all of the Alibaba WAN models. Those are all free for limited time right now. So definitely go and try them out. They're free in the playground. They're also free if you just generate video directly through AI SDK. Yeah, so those are free for everyone to play around with. And yeah, we're excited to see what people generate. Maybe actually on that note too, I'd like to showcase, we can do the VO generation after this. So I want to showcase Esteban's playground too, because I thought it's a good way to try out the free generations. So Esteban and the V0 team built this, and it's powered by AI Gateway, AI SDK, and workflows. But the cool thing too is because it's all using VO model, or sorry, it's using XAI Grok Imagine models. these are a lot of the generations here. And then it also gives you just the ability, it's like another playground, but you can fork this as well and play around with this more yourself in V0. If there's a video that like someone wants me to generate, I can just type it in right now. Maybe a dog. I've been doing a lot of dog videos. A dog.
There's a question on someone asked for like sort of fantasy things. You could say like try like a red dragon flying over the chalk hills of Great Britain. I might have made that up and gotten the country wrong. But
I'll say flying over the hills of.
that sounds more likely to be accurate.
Okay. Generate.
But before we see the results, I'd say I'm highly optimistic that we'll get something. It's pretty awesome.
Yes, and if people want to play around with this, we posted this on the X account for Vercel, but the website is just v0-grokstudio.vercel.app. You can find it in V0 as well.
Grok.
Yes, Grok with a K. Oh, okay. It says it's generated, but oh.
There you go. Click on the dragon one again. I think it's just a UI. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe I'm gonna refresh.
It's possible it moderated the dragon. You never know.
Yeah,
it was an overly aggressive dragon. Try.
I can try another video.
Yeah. Someone asked for a cat figure skating Winter Olympics style.
Okay.
So that should be pretty good. You know, you have dog and cat people in the audience. A crowd after my own heart.
Let's see. And then while this one is generating, usually, since we're going back to sound, usually the options for audio are pretty simple. You'll just like, it's some parameter based on the provider, and it'll be like audio on, audio off. And then there's also opportunities if you do want sound, you can create like dialogue for a lot of these models. You can say like person A speaking and says this. I think we have I can probably do a demo with that with a different model. Oh, okay. This isn't showing up for me right now. I'll have to flag to Esteban, but I've created videos with this before.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, we could also do playground. Maybe try the dragon on the playground.
Yeah, I'll try the dragon on the playground.
Oh my God, that dog is awesome. Someone had a question on workflows. So customers, after they generate the video, do they ship it on socials or their website? How many use these? I think there's all kinds of use cases. I think people use these for advertising, for marketing videos, for social posts, I think just for entertainment. I think, you know, the space is still really new. And so I think there's a lot of really interesting stuff. And, you know, Vercel has a lot of developers that love our products. And this, you know, we both have a playground, but it's also obviously developer infrastructure, API based. And so there's a lot of like, well, how can we stitch together in a powerful way videos, whether it's sequential or you know, trying to make them flow together in a smooth manner. You know, the duration that these different models support varies, you know, but the common case is they support anywhere from like, you know, 2 second, 4 second, 8 second clips. And some of the Kling models and maybe some of the others do support longer ones. There you go.
That's pretty good. And it has audio on.
Dungeons and Dragons right there, a childhood. So stitching things together, longer ones, you know, I know that like the Kling models, for example, if you give them a long reference video, they will produce a longer video, but I feel like they're capped. I just don't remember top of my head at like sort of 15 seconds kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And what you'll see is sometimes toward the tail end, you know, they, this is a generalization, not something on another, they do a better job at the beginning of the generation than they do at the end. And this is, I think, an industry challenge, is sort of how can we do an amazing job with this. And the Kling 3.0 multi-shot that Geraldine was talking about is a really powerful, interesting API that I would recommend looking closer at if you're interested in these longer form videos. And it also has a variant where you specify, I think the shot type is intelligence, and then you just write a paragraph of what you want to see. And so rather than sort of trying to be the director, where in multi-prompt you give a sequence, an array of several prompts that you want to see, and it will stitch it together, you just describe in prose the paragraph what you want, and you say, hey, model, figure it out for me. And I've seen, really impressive results with both of those. That's the still very recently released Kling 3.0 model, which is in Gateway.
Mm-hmm. And then on the question for the reference to video approach and any advice on what makes good references, this one is, it definitely, I think there's a little bit of a learning curve, at least on our end. We played around with a couple different references. Usually if you have a like video of a person and their like upper body is present, like if you, that makes a better reference than something that is like either lower quality or it's hard to like identify what they're doing. I would say if you want like something like that, that usually makes a good reference, and you're able to like transfer the style well. The other thing too is like a lot of times with reference to video, sometimes there can be like clips that are a bit too big. So we'd advise you to go for like smaller videos just to start out with, or even to start out with a reference image and use that instead of a video. But usually like the level of graduation is you start with text, then you move on to image, and then you go to video as like the last type of input. And yeah, there's like varying degrees of difficulty, but it's really cool what you can generate with each of these.
Yeah, and an add-on I would say there, as you get into the more powerful features, AI SDK has this philosophy that Gateway has preserved very intentionally, which is sort of like avoid lossiness in terms of information we get from the server. And this is particularly useful in video land because there are many different ways in which you might provide a reference video that isn't quite ready for the model, right? Like Geraldine sketched sort of like, well, it couldn't sort of segment and identify the person, or it's like, well, it's too dark, or these pixels seem off. And so what Gateway aims to do is like whatever detail message we get from the model, we pass it through in the response so that you can see it. Because we couldn't possibly really enumerate them all, and they continue working on the model. Maybe they add new error messages, and so what we want to make sure is that you as developers sort of can see what's wrong. And I mean, behind this is also me saying if you run a request and it doesn't work, sometimes that can be frustrating. Sort of like the common wisdom, like, hey, did you check the logs? I would say like, hey, make sure you check the error messages, because you'll be like, well, why isn't my thing working? And the model actually in many cases is telling you, but it's easy to kind of like, not just forget, like, oh, I forgot to just look at the error message detail. It's very important here. I think we have a few more prompts, and maybe we should show a couple other models. Maybe try one of the WAN models. I can't remember if we did one of those.
Yeah, we haven't done one yet.
Well, pull it up.
Did you see that question on stream video? That's an interesting
one. It's a good question. I think these are all generate. There isn't a streaming progress update, but you can see that you can build apps that show sort of progress to the extent that you can use heuristics and so forth. I think that I would love to see streaming where it's feasible and where it makes sense. So I would love to hear providers and models that you have in mind, if you know of some that support it today, and we'd love to get it in when we can. But it does not exist today.
Oh, sorry, I keep using the wrong team. Okay, while that generates this, the reference to video from Alibaba is specifically like, they like it when you refer to each of the references as like character 1 or like image 1 or video 1 and image 2. So yeah, there are little quirks like that we cover in some of the examples. If you do want like advice on how to prompt better or like what results in a better image or better video. Another hack that we found, I think, to be quite useful is if you have a very clear idea of what you want to generate and you don't want to leave it up to like text to video, usually like if you want consistency or just the same character throughout, a good way to go about it is to use like one of the image to video models instead. And then one thing that we've been doing a lot is using like Nano Banana or like a different image model and kind of generating what we want to see first in the video, and then using that as a reference for the input for the videos. And that kind of allows like consistency, and also to make sure that the video model has a good idea of like what to start generating. So yeah, a common one is like you could also storyboard the prompt with one of our like text models and then refine that to make sure like it matches well with what the model expects, and then use that instead.
After this one, maybe we can just quickly show people how to find the docs and the
Yeah.
sections that I want to look at. Yeah.
Ooh, do you have a favorite model right now? Walter, you can go first.
I think XAI speed is super impressive. I think the I think the Kling 3.0 intelligence is pretty amazing, where they have where you just write out a whole sequence that you want, generate quite a long thing, and it basically comes up with the interim stages for you. These are my off the cuffs.
Yeah, I like I think the XAI, just how fast it is pretty amazing. Also, the video editing is great on it as well. And then my other favorite would probably be any of the image to video ones are great. The Kling one is really good, especially because you can use like multi-shot. VO is awesome because you can specify, like if you use Nano Banana with VO, I found that the quality is like very, very high. And then Alibaba's great at this as well. So I personally like the image to video models more than the text to video, but it's just a matter of like figuring out which image you want to use. And then the output usually turns out awesome. Okay. Oh, so we wanted to show the docs?
Yeah, just really like, how would I find them from here?
Okay.
It's probably the starting point.
Yes.
If it's not easy, then we got to go back to the drawing board a little bit.
Yes,
So,
it's a good chance to highlight. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Let me share a screen. Okay, so I'm in the AI Gateway docs right now. We have a couple different ways that you can play with video. The first place is we have a new getting started section. So this has hopefully the easiest way where you can generate with just a simple video. And we've split it out. So the first one is just simple text to video, but then we also have image to video, first and last frame, reference to video, and just like different variations that are a little bit different compared to text to video. And then the other thing that we cover here is around like the different types of inputs you might need, and the fact that like some of them require URLs instead of a raw file. And so we have like detail on how to do that. So this is just like the basic quick start, and you can run these examples. Then the other place is within the AI Gateway docs under capabilities. We also have video generation. And so this over here is split out across the different types of things that you can do with video. So text to video, image to video, reference to video, image editing, things like that. And then also there's some detail around like saving videos, but this is where you would find all the different video types, and like especially if there are different parameters or nuances across providers, this is where you could find it. And then for even more detail, I would go and check out the AI SDK docs, because that'll give you like the most fidelity on how the Google VO parameters and like provider options work versus Kling versus WAN versus Grok Imagine. So
click the view example so they can see, or just scroll down a little bit more. So, I mean, to remind, like most of these are optional, right? So all you actually need is the model and the prompt, but then here's all the other, wild stuff that you can do. That's the list up above, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just to show another example, maybe show like Kling multi-shot. Click on that. And so, what can you, this is where you can play with some of the things that I was trying to scroll down. I think there's an example right here. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is an example. As you can tell, you really can customize a lot more. The world really is your oyster with video. It's just a matter of like having a clear idea of what you want with the prompt, or being general enough and like open enough to experimenting to see like where the model takes you. I think a good one to show, like someone had a question about reference to video. This one is like slightly different from image to video, but as you can see here, like the way it's configured is that you would give like reference URLs, and then you would specify like the prompt, how you would want it to work. And then something similar goes for like image to video. And yeah, you just give it the image and your prompt, and then yeah, there are a couple different options you can specify. Awesome. Well, let's see. I think that's it from us. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions or comments. Feel free to reach out to us too if you have any feedback or any new models that you want to try with video, or like just an interesting use case. We would love to see it and share.
Amazing. Yeah, really awesome stuff. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, for the tips and tricks as well. I feel like I've learned a lot today, and for the great demos. I think it's pretty wild to see how far we've come since the OG Will Smith eating spaghetti times. So very cool to see. Thank you so much to you and the team for all the hard work on this and for joining us here today.
Awesome. Thanks, Maya.
Thanks. Bye. Alrighty. And thank you so much to our community for spending time with us. Hopefully it's inspired you to also go and create your own videos yourself. Feel free to tag us if you do. If you want to join our future community sessions, you can find all the details on our community platform at community.vercel.com/live. Okay, thanks all.